went pretty good last time, so we're going to push ahead with the new format and the regular segments. We are going to learn some more shit about Wolverine. We're going to dive deeper into Supernatural with Astronaut Annie. We're going to see some stupid fucking memes. We're going to see some crazy animal videos and some slick stuff and some neat stuff and some cool stuff. And without further ado, let's watch the fucking show.
I'm telling you some shit about Wolverine, yeah!
Wolverine timeline 1908 to 1950.
In 1908, in the Canadian Rockies, Wolverine is living with a tribe of Blackfoot Indians and his girlfriend Silver Fox. About this time, he allies with Romulus and becomes one of his operatives. He is sent to Madripoor, where he encounters the ninja clan The Hand, goes up against Victor Creed again, and meets Seraph, an operative of Lando, Luckman, and Lake. In 1909, Victor Creed apparently rapes and kills Silver Fox, though this turns out to be a false memory. Victor defeats Logan, who goes feral and is manipulated into killing the nearby town for this murder. Sometime later, they encounter each other again in Madripoor, though by this time, Logan no longer remembers meeting Victor. In 1911 Montana, he meets Loki, the Asgardian mischief god. In 1912, he joins the military to take part in World War I and joins the Devil's Brigade, where he meets Cyber. In 1915 Belgium, he meets Lazaire, the Angel of Death. This leads to a period of depression and drinking. In 1918 France, he goes on a war mission and encounters other mutant soldiers. In Paris, France, post-armistice, Cyber kills his girlfriend Janet, claws his eyeball out, beats the crap out of him, and he ends up going feral, but Victor and Cyber manage to find and return him to work. With the missing eyeball, he goes to Madripoor and starts using the nickname Patch. In 1921 Mexico, he meets Mystique for the first time. He is on a firing range, being executed as a horse thief. He joins and then betrays her bank robbery gang. He spends some time as an alcohol bootlegger during Prohibition. He ends up back in Canada, working for the Hudson Bay Company as a fur trader, where he defeats a demon named Unsiglia. In China, he meets Ogun, a samurai master. In Japan, he encounters the Han ninjas again. In the USA, Kentucky, he goes up against the Pinkertons, and after that, the Red Right Hand is formed. It's an organization all about revenge against Wolverine. In 1929, he goes up against Capone, a competitor in bootlegging. After this, Victor Creed kills his girlfriend and lures him to the Valentine's Day Massacre, though he, of course, survives. By 1930, he's back in a circus performing as the Amazing Immortal Man. In 1931 Africa, he befriends an elephant and defends it from the Kravanovs, some big game hunters. In England, he goes up against Nazis, the Shadow King, and Geist. He meets a time-traveling Kitty Pryde and Rachel Summers, and meets Blade, the vampire hunter. In 1932, he gets trained as an assassin by Seraph. In 1933 Canada, he spent some time smuggling. In 1934 Marrakesh, he is hired by the Covenant as an assassin, but decides to spare his target, the Dreaming Maiden. In 1935, he reports her dead to the Covenant and refuses future jobs. In 1936 Scotland, he encounters Mystique and Destiny, but Mystique doesn't seem to remember him. In Spain, he takes part in the Spanish Civil War and meets Puck, who he serves with on Alpha Flight later. In 1937 Russia, Romulus has him train in espionage. He also trains a young Black Widow. In Japan, he visits Ogun and receives some samurai training. In 1938 Hollywood, he is dating an actress and encounters Morgana Le Fay when she possesses that actress. In Russia, he returns on a job to kill the Romanovs, but decides to spare the Black Widow. In Madripoor, he does a few espionage missions. In 1939 Madripoor, he goes up against the Hand again. In 1940, he rejoins the Devil's Brigade for World War II. In 1941, he's working as a freelance agent and doing jobs for Romulus. In Madripoor, he meets Captain America for the first time and goes up against the Hand and Baron Strucker, a German Nazi bad guy. He encounters Cap a couple more times. He meets him next with Black Widow against Nazis again. He meets him again in Tunisia with his sidekick Bucky, and meets Nick Fury. Under Romulus's orders, he's there to kill Captain America, but decides not to, which starts a rift with Seraph. In 1942 France, with Cap and Nick Fury, they go up against Nazis again. In Poland, Sobibor, he spends some time in an internment camp as Prisoner Zero. In the Italian Alps, he's with Cap again versus Nazis, and then buggers off back to Canada. In 1943 California, he was overseeing experiments on Japanese POWs. In Germany, Berlin, he was captured and spent more time in an internment camp. He had an Australian operation that there weren't much details on. In 1944, in Germany, Normandy, he was there for D-Day with Nick Fury. He ends up killing a whole patrol by himself while he's there, and this is where he first meets Bloodscream, a sort of vampire. In Paris, France, he kills several Nazi officers and happens to see Hercules, the Greek god, from afar. He fights some German tanks. He goes up against a sorceress and the Truth and meets his future daughter, Ryan. In 1945 Germany, he takes part in a failed mission versus German super soldiers. He goes up against Nazi werewolves. In Japan, he is captured but escapes. Later gets a girlfriend, but she's killed by another prisoner. He's caught in the Hiroshima blast. In Dresden, he's there post-blast. He spends the winter in the Italian Alps. He defeats Kimura, an extra-dimensional warlord, for Lando, Luckman, and Lake. In Japan, Ogun trains him some more as a samurai. In Japan again, he trains with Sabura. He ends up having to defeat Kimura again when he returns. In 1946 Japan, he marries a woman named Itsu, but Winter Soldier, the former Bucky, kills her. After this, the Muramasa blade is forged out of his rage and is supposedly a sword that can kill anything. He is part of a counterintelligence squad that thwarts a death cult getting their hands on that sword. In 1947, he does a few Lando Luckman Lake jobs in Canada. In 1950, he joins the CIA, and out of that Team X, a team of all mutants, is formed. He is generally considered to have become more aggressive post the memory implants he received as part of this team from the telepath Aldo Farrow, later known as Cyborg. And with all that, we are at 1950. As you can see, unlike his earliest years where the details are super sketchy and sparse, this period of his life is super busy. It seems like he is part of every battle of every war for like 40 years. This is pretty much the whole period that makes him the best there is at what he does, which is kill people. It's where he picks up all his super duper skills that go into making him kind of a unique superhero when he finally turns his life to that. That's it for now. We will come back with more Wolverine shit next episode.
Stat block reading, cha-cha-cha. Stat block reading, cha-cha-cha.
Abraxas. Born within the abstract entity Eternity, Abraxas the Dimensional Destroyer has near limitless cosmic power, enabling him to traverse and manipulate dimensions at will, restructure matter, and manipulate energy on a vast scale. He was only finally defeated by Mr. Fantastic using the ultimate nullifier.
God damn, I gotta drop a big one.
Check this shit out.
What the thing dang do, motherfucker? Who's fired?
Guess that injury! One more time. Welcome to Bow Valley. The Kenku. The Kenku of Bow Valley are different than those found elsewhere, having the ability to speak with their own voice instead of mimicking others, but this did not come easy to them. Several generations ago, the magic users among them approached the newly constructed Wizard's Tower to ask assistance in this. The wizards agreed and eventually succeeded, with the price being perpetual servitude. And so, while the main part of the Kenku population enjoys their new freedom of speech, in each generation, Kenku chicks are selected to serve at the tower. The entire custodial and servant staff of the tower is composed of Kenku alone, and the families of those selected are honored by their community. Advertisement paid for by the Bow Valley Tourism Board. It didn't suck.
See
Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For, released in 2014 as a follow-up to the first adaptation of Frank Miller's graphic novel, really wasn't that bad. It's just that with 9 years between the two movies, by the time the sequel was finally released, nobody gave a shit.
Damn, Nature, you're scary. Guys, could you just... Guys, come on. I stole your meme!
Cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
I just want to... Is anybody in Ireland here? Who's okay and who's seen my little sister? I don't have a photograph. She's 10 years old. She has brown hair and grey blue eyes, and she's kind of small for her age. We were travelling together and I lost her. And please, please, if you see her, get back to me and tell her I'm so sorry. Hey everyone, just a quick update. I'm sorry I haven't been posting much, just nothing much has been happening, and I'm kind of starting to think that maybe I'm wasting my time looking for her, and I should just think about myself. But she's the only reason I've been. I don't know. I just don't feel like there's a point if I'm not looking for her. Sorry, this is super miserable. It's been raining a lot, but I have somewhere dry to sleep. Quite a bit of food was left in there, so I'm eating okay, and I hope you guys are all okay, and that something... I shouldn't be wearing red. It's just something I found in the place I'm staying in. I'm just like fucking tired now. I kind of want something to happen, you know?
Just about to head into town here. It's about a 20-minute walk into town. It's actually not that far. There's a little gravel road that takes me into town. The highway isn't too far away from the wreckers where my little palace is, but I like to take the gravel road. There's a spot on the highway that's all blocked off with vehicles, and the last time I took that way, I ran into a couple of unfriendlies. So I've just been taking the gravel road. Be about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to go check out a house that I've been to before. Pretty well-stocked cupboards yet, so we'll go grab some more shit. I am back at a house that I have stopped at before. As you can see, a couple of the cupboards are still pretty well stocked. We're like a year and a half into this now, so a few of the expiry dates are starting to come up, but those are just suggestions, right? Basically, I'm trying to pack up as many as I can, just load up as many as I can, and just fill my little RV up to cut down on the amount of times I have to come back into town in the middle of the winter. This house is actually pretty well stocked. A lot of the places I'll get into are pretty picked over already. And then you'll run into some where it's like whoever lived there left like a couple hours ago. You know, like there's dishes in the sink, but now there's fucking mold on them. A lot of times, or what I prefer to do when I come into town is I like to bring a backpack. I would recommend a backpack over a duffel bag, definitely. When you have a duffel bag, you're tempted to overfill it. And then if you actually have to make a run for it or fuck off somewhere, you end up having to toss the bag just so you can run. And, I mean, you're probably not coming back for it. So it's just a waste of time and effort. I usually bring a backpack, but I lost mine about a week ago. Long story, you probably know how it goes. But luckily enough, there was a bunch of plastic grocery bags in a haul in here. So I'm going shopping. As I'm sure is pretty obvious to anybody that's watching this, when you're in a house, you got to check every room before you start to load up your bag. You got to make sure it's empty. It isn't always. And you got to stay under the window level. Even if one of the dead ones doesn't see you, there's still living people out there. As we get closer to winter, they're the ones that are going to be dangerous. They're the ones I have to watch out for. The zombies freeze. The humans are looking for a warm place and to steal your shit. Probably kill you to get it. Anywho, I noticed that there was a backpack hanging on a hook just inside the door when I went to leave. So I threw all my shit into that instead of those shitty plastic bags. So away home I go. Same way I came, about 20 minutes, and got away. A bit of an adventure. You don't see too many of the newer ones as we go on here, and definitely toward the cold weather, so that caught me by surprise. I was just coming out of the house when there was a girl, probably like 15, 17. I was just walking down the street. It's like she's out for a walk. And I go to run away from her. And then this dude just broadsides me, knocks me on my ass. Anyways, I managed to lose both of them. They're both running on fucked up legs. And I got home to my sweet honeybee castle with my awesome new backpack and a bunch of canned shit. I didn't die. Mission successful.